Okay, hi everybody, it's me, Bonkai922. Okay, it's Thursday, and it's time for another episode of The Witch and the Beast. Episode 4, Beauty and Death, opening act. This was weird. This was like a very, like, completely different story. Because we focused so much in the first 3 episodes of um, the witches. Now, this one does involve magic, but different kind. Necromancy. Hence, with the name Beauty and Death, you get what's going. So, basically, what happens is we get a little introduction of necromancy and how it's handled, and basically, it's actually like legal to do. But you need the permission of the next of kin or the permission of the patient before they died in order to do this legally. That's the logistics of it. So, what we get is this scene where Ashov and Gudo, they solved another mystery with the witches, with this woman, and then this thing comes out of nowhere. And this thing is an undead. Now, it's not the same because the way they're showing resurrection in here is that necromancy has evolved to a certain point where the undead look like regular humans. Aside from a few markings on their face and on their body, they look really normal. But later on in the episode, we find out there are some that they could use a few more times. they could be put back in the oven a few more times. Now, Ashov, they stopped this undead that was rampaging. And Ashov is introduced to a detective from the police, Jeff. But unfortunately, he tells Ashov, Ashov unfortunately tells him that he can't do this case of the undead because that's not their expertise. So we actually get some more background of this organization. They have actual teams of specifics that involve them with certain magic. Ashov and Gudo involved with witches. And some other kind of magical things that involve with them. Other magic things like magical beasts and so on and so forth. But with the undead, they don't. But Ashov does inform them that there are people that can in the organization. And that is when we were introduced to Johan and Fenora. Now, Fenora is a necromancer. Yeah, that's what she is. And you could tell because every time she's talking to Johan, when she's first on the screen, it's cold. Get the gist. So they get the feedback of what's going on. Basically, these undead are running amok. That shouldn't be. Because the point with the undead is that when they're resurrected, their minds are kept in check by the necromancer to keep them sane, not insane. And they explain like the different levels. Like the very last level is when the necromancer has full control of their mind, which is called manual control. But like the first level is auto, meaning they just run amok. And the second is semi-auto. That's basically a level where they're not completely out of their minds, they're only semi, So they get the logistics of the case and they lure the undead via a lantern. We also get some feedback of this guy who's part of the police, Jeff. Yeah, he had a girl he loved, and she died, and the family unfortunately didn't want a resurrection. And he's agreeing with them in this fact and to let her rest and be done with it. Now, they lure these undead to this church area with a lantern, and there's a lot of them. There's like 40 of them. I'm like, holy crap. They end up fighting them and defeating them and killing them. But they notice this necromancer has a thing for redheads. Women. Now we do get some feedback of this necromancer who's very this old, creepy guy, white lips. But what ends up happening is they are able to track down where the undead came from. To a house. This huge guy sits, Johann, and then we get introduced. We don't see the necromancer. We see one of his undead who's literally is talking with the necromancer's voice. So he's controlling it. And then we get the huge shoe drop. This necromancer resurrected Jeff's lover. But he basically says he did this because of his undead, and he was able to locate him and watch him basically. Was able to make this plan come about. Unfortunately, Johann gets killed, kind of. Gets his throat slashed. And then that's where the episode more or less ends, to an extent. Overall, I thought this was intriguing, to say the least. Because, you see, in media, whether it be books, movies, TV shows, now we have anime, really don't get a general aspect of necromancy. I mean, you do, but not this detailed. I actually like this. I think this was probably one of the best episodes of the season. Yeah? And it's funny because it doesn't include the main characters. Go figure that one out. But it was very intriguing because they go into details of the whole spiel about necromancy. And the different levels, they're insane, they're controlled. You know? It's very intriguing in the grand scheme of things, of how it's done in this way. So I really liked this episode. Rating-wise, not a lot happened, but it was pretty intriguing to me. Definitely give this a 9 out of 10. I found it very intriguing with the explanation and everything. Not a lot of action. There was that tussle at the church with all those undead. But I do like the way it was done, if that makes sense. How it was elaborated on. But next week, we're going to get the conclusion of it. It seems like, Venera, she confronts this necromancer. I don't know what happens, though, from the preview. It seems like she does some mumbo jumbo. Like there's some shadows on the ground that she's controlling. It looks intriguing, though. This is kind of weird, though, because, it's weird to just turn on a dime. New characters for this one episode. Well, these 2 episodes, I should say, of this case. So, call me impressed. I didn't think this was going to happen. I didn't think I was actually going to get in an anime about witches necromancy. And it's even more shocking to find out that it's actually legal in some countries in this anime. So you're like, okay, wow. Very impressed. I'm very impressed with this episode. What did you guys think? Comments, like or dislike, about this episode. I personally liked it. I call me impressed. I you know didn't expect it to be in that frame when we've just been following Hashoff and Gudo for 3 episodes, taking out riches. Now we're just gonna go necromancy. But necromancy can be considered in a way, well, not really witches, but it's in a same aspect. But that's all I got for you guys. This has been Bankai 922, bringing the dead back to life. Yeah. Never seen how detailed it is. I'll see you guys later. Peace.